I'm a new person. I'm not the same person that I was.
Yeah.
And so what you know of me, if you ain't talked to me in the last year or so on a regular basis, you don't know me no more. You don't know me
That's
anymore.
facts.
I'm a new, totally different guy.
What's good, y'all? It's Mikal Settle with Blaise Training Never Settle. And now I'm super excited because we just got a new training app to service our people. So listen, if you're interested in losing 15 to 20 pounds or even gaining 15 to 20 pounds, this is the opportunity for you to reach out to me so we can start to service you a little better, okay? Now, reach out to me directly or comment your information below, and so we can set up a consultation meeting with you for free. Just gonna be 10 minutes of your time to figure out some of your struggles, some of your goals, and some of the motivation behind your goals so we can start to service you better and move forward in the process to help you reach your fitness goals, okay? And then you never know. You might end up even being here training with me at Aspen Active, all right? I hope to see you guys later, and never settle. Man, what's good, y'all? We're here again. Another week, another Monday with another great guest. You know, Mike Motivation Monday. And so, like I said, before each episode, we're going to go into the book of the week. And so this week's book of the week is by Devon Franklin, and it's called Live Free. I don't know which camera I'm doing right here. It's called Live Free. And so pretty much it just talks about not allowing people to put their expectations on you and who you should be. And so one of my favorite quotes from this book, though, is, you know, it's your life to live, you know. It's your life to live, and don't let anybody else tell you how to live your own life. And so to me, that quote kind of embodies kind of who you are, you know, just how you grew up, you know, everything you kind of been through, whether it's school, whether it's sports, whether it's being a barber right now, you kind of embody that, you know.
Yeah.
So can you kind of tell me kind of like, just kind of like your story, just starting off being a young kid from Des Moines and everything like that?
Yeah, basically, man, how I look at it is, you know, Des Moines, you know, is one of its nicknames is the Lost City. And I like that nickname for it because, you know, growing up, we all played sports and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying, think that, you know, that's the only way out.
Uh-huh.
Growing up in my life, you know, I had 3 dreams. You know, first one, be an NBA player. Second one, you know, to be a barber. And third one, to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So, you know, once I kind of got old enough to realize and understand the reality of stuff, you know what I'm saying, over millions of people play basketball, and it's only 400 spots in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't applying myself, so I just decided to chase, I guess, what you could call my plan B,
Yeah.
which has always been in me.
100%.
You know, and I always wondered why, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to be a barber because I got an uncle in town that he didn't open up his shop till I was 12. And I always wanted to be a barber since I was a kid, so it's like, why? And then recently I found out that my great-grandfather, who I actually never met, was a barber.
Wow.
And so even the generation after him, which would have been my father, he's not a barber, and then so now I am. So
Yeah.
after the generation after my great-grandfather, the only 2 people that still do hair on that side of the family is me and my aunt. So, you know, I'm just kind of feel like I'm living and chasing my calling.
Yeah. No, 100%. And sorry, too, I forgot to introduce him. Kris Long, you know,
the
one and
universal
only
bad boy.
Yeah,
Swervo the barber.
Swervo the barber. But
know.
man, that makes sense because one thing I like that you did during Black History Month is you highlighted not only like the history of black people, but then also more specifically barbers. So
Yeah.
is that kind of like one of the reasons, like, kind of makes sense why you kind of passionate about it? Is that one of the reasons like you have that knowledge on it, but then also too is like it's literally in your blood? Is that why you're so passionate about it, you think?
That too, and I did not only black barbering, but I did just the Black history on Des Moines and Iowa within itself. Just a couple of my first posts was geared towards barbering and hair, but I just feel like, you know, sometimes in the black community here in my hometown, we always are like, oh, we're the first one to do this or the first one to do that, or we're making this for the black people or this for our demographic, and we haven't really done the research. So me, you know, over like the past 2-3 years, I've done a lot of research on black history and, the first blacks to do things in Iowa. And, there was a black neighborhood just where they built Keogh way through called the Center Street neighborhood, which was predominantly black. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know about the stuff that was going on then because it's been shut out and not told to us.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is get that back out into like us and the generation after us, to 100%. Keep it alive, because like me, I'm one of the only people I know that still got I got great grandparents on both of my side living. I got great aunts and uncles still living. You know what I mean?
That's so a blessing too.
I get a lot of information from the roots and the history and not just what people think. So I just want to give that knowledge to my people so we can understand and my demographic can have a little better knowledge than what we do have now. You know what I mean? Because sometimes other demographics look at us as dumb, and it's not that we're dumb. It's just we never been taught stuff like that.
100%.
Stuff that we talk about when we're in the chair, like credit and stuff. Stuff that we never been taught.
That's facts.
Because, in our demographic, we think, long as I got the money to buy it, I'm good. Or as long as I do something this way, I'm good. But that's not the norm of life, which is, what usual people do.
No, 100%. And one thing, bro, is, everybody who knows, like if you don't got a barber or you looking for a new barber, you already know he's your guy. But anyways, it's like, anybody who gets their hair cut by Kris you're not gonna get out the chair without learning something. You're not gonna get out the chair without talking about something productive and something that's gonna move you forward. So like one thing I really like though that you mentioned one time, I think you mentioned to my uncle one time too, is like how you would take a word from the dictionary and you would teach yourself that every day. Yep. So can you kind of touch on not only kind of like why you kind of started to do that, but your mindset on always being willing to learn and progress?
It's crazy because that just comes from trials and tribulations of life. When I was a young adolescent, I got sent to Woodward Academy. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we learned in Woodward Academy is the more cuss words you say, the lower your vocabulary is. Yeah. So I always had a dream of having a big vocabulary. So, certain words. And then again, another thing that's translating back to our demographic is we use some words as slang, the total opposite of what they're supposed to be used for. And like me and one of the fellow barbers in the shop, we went on a trip to Connecticut last August. Yeah. And we got in an argument about a word. I'm like, man, I got a dictionary next to my bed. I read the dictionary every day. You can ask my family. I'm like, man, we run around saying clout. We think clout is a social status. But clout is the blunt force of an object. So we're all running around like, man, he think he got clout. He think he want clout. We're not even using the word right. And so the barber was like, you think you know everything? So I'm like, man, look the definition up. He looked it up, and to this day, when we talking social status or somebody say, man, dude want all the clout, he like, man, that's not even what clout means. Word. So to me, it's just a further of, just making sure that I'm always expanding my horizons. And if, somebody come in the room and say a word, 90% of the people in the room gonna be like, what's that? But because I read the dictionary, I'm be like, this is what that means. You know what I mean? Or the true meaning of certain stuff. I just want to know the true meaning of words people say. And my thing is, I'm real big on facts and truth. Yeah. So I guess that's where you could say that my growth always comes from, because, the facts and the truth and coming and reading, everybody's gonna have an opinion. Like when you were in here and we had that conversation about which certification of personal training is the best. Yeah. They're all not equal, but they're all pretty much the same. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the thing about a lot of things that people argue about. It's really just opinions, and certain stuff have facts, right? Yeah. But just like how I like to live life is just like the court of law. The only thing that matters is what you could prove. Yeah.
Facts, so bars. No, that's facts. And so, yeah, that's facts, bro. And then one thing I want to talk about too is to kind of dive back into kind of like your childhood and kind of like your mindset switch. Because one time we was in a chair, you mentioned something to me. You was like, bro, I got people hit me up every day. Like, bro, I'm proud of you. Like, see how your transformation and just your mindset now, what you're doing and what you're doing and everything like that, because like it inspires me, but obviously inspires other people. So can you kind of touch on like maybe your mindset as a young teen growing up in Des Moines in this, it's a crab barrel out here, bro, for real.
And it's so crazy because, my mindset literally came from within my own motivation. And I couldn't even tell you. I guess you know what they say is you're a product of your environment, but I always felt like your environment is what you make it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, they like growing up, this person said this, or I'll never make it, or I'll be in jail, or you know, I'm not gonna be nothing. I'll be dead by the time I'm 21. But you know, I graduated high school on time. Nobody thought I would.
Yeah.
You know, I went to college, and I didn't graduate from Iowa Central with my degree. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I really only went to college to play sports, which is something that, you know what I'm saying, I don't necessarily want to say I was failed to be taught, but you know, you like, man, I can only get to college, you know what I'm saying, if I'm this extraordinary athlete or this great student.
Yeah.
And so I got to college, and you know, I didn't have a scholarship or anything, and I walked in to walk on to the basketball team, and I'm like, this ain't what I want to do anymore. You know, I'm kind of just playing for other people's sake, and I love the game, but I like to do it on my own time.
Yeah.
So I stopped, right? I came back home, and I just was hanging out with the homies. I had got a job at Firestone, and you know, kind of was just going downhill. My life wasn't progressing.
Yeah.
And one thing that I live by now in my life is that life's about elevating and not levitating.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, you know, I was working at Firestone, a premier job in the area, great benefits. You know, you start off at $20 an hour, pay every week. My aunt worked there for 33 years. She got me the job just almost with no interview.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm making great money and I'm going here, but this isn't what I want to do. I always knew I wanted to be a barber.
Yeah.
And I worked there for about, I want to say roughly 2 years, roughly. And then I'm like, one day, because I worked there with a bunch of my friends, we all got a job around the same time.
Yeah.
And we used to work the overnight shift 10 to 6, and we got off one morning, and I'm like, man, I think this is my last day. I'm not coming back. I was telling a couple of the OGs that I worked with that I knew for a while, and I'm like, man, I think I'm going to go chase my dream of being a barber. And so I never forget it. I started barber October 2nd. I quit at Firestone 2018, and I started barber college November 6, 2018, and from that point on, once I started, I said, this is what I wanted to do. And I've been telling everybody I want to do. I've been telling myself, so by any means necessary, I'm a get it done. Yeah. But I had a certain plan on what I wanted to do for barbering, you know, because one thing about me, and we talk about this all the time, I'm not stuck up on the self-acclimated awards, which is my opinion of the barber battles and the trophies. Yeah. That's something that I'm not really interested in, because the battle is every day in the chair when you're cutting your boss, which is your client. You know what I mean? And giving them what they like. Yeah. Anybody can get up there and give another barber what another barber likes, but it's not about that. I don't cut hair for another barber. So it's one thing I'm coming to terms with now is kind of like what that quote said, is living the life how you want to live it to a T, you know, and 100%. That's why one thing we live in the barbershop, because a big uproar in the community is prices. Set your price, live your life. You know, you're not a barber for everybody, just like with your profession and your trade. You're not a trainer for everybody, so that's just one thing that you got to respect. But the thing about the barber game is it can be tough, so you got to have tough skin and you got to have a hard mental. Yeah, 100%. And it's just real different. The game's always evolving, so I guess that's one thing that I'm learning, how to be a leader and a follower at the same time. Yeah. Because, you could think one thing about barber college is you come in the worst, you leave the best, and you graduate, and you come into the shop, not necessarily the worst, but, you know, you going matching up against barbers 20, 30 years in the game. Yeah. They know a lot more than somebody 2 years in the game.
100%. So. Yeah, and the one thing that, first off, thank you for sharing that, because that was powerful, too. There's a lot of gems in what you just said. But one of the things that comes to mind that really stuck out to me is, like, you got to have tough skin to get through this shit. And so can you kind of talk about like how you kind of like are able to kind of churn through? First off, to me, is like, it shows a lot about a person who can go through all this shit in the world, but then stay consistent no matter what. Still come in every day, still post every day, still come in every morning, still doing what you do, and then like elevating as far as traveling, networking with so many different people. Like you was just in, where was you at, in Houston recently?
Yep, and I actually went there as a shop trip but I used to live there with my aunt for about roughly a year.
Okay.
And a barber that she always spoke on, I've been watching for 3 years.
Man,
because I
look
actually
at that.
started a little piece of history about myself. Is I actually started barber college in Houston.
Oh, damn! I didn't know that.
Back, you know, so just a barber that I watched that is barbering and excuse me again, has taken his barbering to where I want to take my barbering.
Yeah.
Because I want to use barbering kind of as like a barber is like when I'm cutting your hair is like surgery. You know, it's balance and symmetry with a lot of stuff. It's just stuff that, you know, if you're not a barber and you're not that type of barber, you won't understand. So it just, that's where that comes in with me. But
yeah, and that leads into another gem you was dropping earlier is you got to be a leader and a follower at the same time. It's like, talk about how much you're willing to learn from, even though you're a leader and independent thinker, but you're willing to change your mind. So talk about like some of the things you kind of like learn from barbering in general based on being able to learn, you know?
Yeah, so it really just becomes with your mindset, right? And you know, like we were saying, we got them people that hit you up like, man, I work out, I know everything, I know this, I know that. But it's like, hold on, you might want to take a step back and just listen to what I got to say. Yeah. So for me, it's like, the toughest thing about me was always wearing my pride on my sleeve, right? Yeah. But it's like, man, like you were saying earlier, so many people walk through this door and inbox me and they like, dog, you changed. We never would have expected this, right? So it's like, damn, in my opinion, I look back and I'm like, I'm 28, right? I done probably lived 7 lives to the average person. Yeah. I done been through a lot of different stuff, and this ain't even, you know, this is all facts to back this up. I done been through, you know, the worst, done stared, you know what I'm saying, the tunnel with nothing at the end. Yeah. And so then when you get in the game and it's like, all right, this is what I want to do. When I figured out that I knew I wanted to be a barber and I was going to get Firestone up, this is the formula that I set out. And my formula was, like you said, to post every day, to let everybody know, okay, I'm a barber. Again, I think I gave you this gem before. I read this thing that say, every ad that you see on Facebook, nobody don't click on the ad that they see until the 7th time that they see it. So you got to see an ad 7 times before you're going to pay attention to it. 100%. So me, the first 6 months I was in barber school, I didn't promote that I was a barber because I was trying to hone my craft. And then after that, I started promoting. I'm a barber. I'm cutting at the house. And the thing about me is, as my skills go, that's how, and you know, the need of clients, you know, grow. Yeah. The thing about barbering is, you know you're a good barber when you're in high demand. And when you're in high demand is when your books are full. And when your books are full and other people are still hitting you up, that's when you raise your price. Yeah. So for me, only way you can raise your prices is if you're in high demand. You're not going to be in high demand sitting at home on your couch waiting for people to come and say, hey, Kris, I see you're a barber, I want to hit you up for a haircut. Yeah. There's another client that I got, and my people aren't really clients, they're more friends than clients, but he became to come get a haircut from me because I got in his inbox one night at like midnight. And I learned this from one of the OGs in the shop. I inboxed him like, what's up, man, how you doing? You know, I want to have the opportunity to cut your hair. It looks like it'd be a pleasure for me. Yeah. And he gave me a chance, and now he comes and sees me every 2 weeks. But it's some barbers that ain't willing to do that because they wearing their pride on their sleeve. This is my profession. This is what I'm doing for a living. This is my livelihood. Yeah. And you know, this goes back to our demographic where some people be like, man, that ain't even cool. Yeah. But it's like, man, the CEO of, you know what I'm saying, one of the biggest businesses don't spend all day on Facebook. But best believe he gonna check his Facebook messages. That's facts. So he might not see your post, but if you message him, sir, you'll get it. Good morning, sir. My name's Kris the barber. Yeah. Work at Universal Cuts. It looked like it'd be a pleasure to cut your hair if you have any time that we can work out a schedule where you come in and I give you an experience. Yeah. So it's more than just a cut. That's where the love for barbering comes in with me, which, like you said, it could be just bred in me. It's more than just a cut. Yeah. So when you come to sit in my chair, you're gonna get more than a haircut. So the word of mouth is gonna speak for itself. 100%. And then you see me posting on Facebook, and you see from the beginning to end, you see my cuts growing. And then not only that, but when I travel, you see me traveling and I'm meeting with notable barbers, people of 30 years, people in bigger cities. Yes. And tips and tricks of the trades from them, and understanding where it goes on. So you see me growing my craft and trying to enhance my service to offer you something better.
Yes.
Which is what a lot of people forget when you in the business of marketing. And like I said, especially self-employed and in a state like Iowa where the barber game is becoming saturated because everybody thinks that it's a quick hustle.
Yeah.
And they think
they don't understand the art.
Exactly, and it's an art, and it's like, yeah, everybody can learn how to cut hair, but the blurry blends you see and the crispy lines and the stuff that Big Rob does, the designs, you know, speaking on him because he's a well-known barber around here, that's coming from within his brain.
Yes.
You know, nobody sat him down and said, hey, I'm going to teach you how to put Tupac face in the back of somebody's head today. No, he looking at a picture, and his grinds are gearing, okay, boom, sending the message from the brains to his hand. That's coming from within the art of himself.
Yes.
So you got to have that drive too, which, again, a lot of people don't have. So I would say your formula, and you got to just literally just drill your formula in until it works for you.
100%.
And as long as it's a recipe for success, ain't no burning that.
Yeah, ain't no burning
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's facts. And you know, one thing I really like that you posted on Facebook recently, about a month or two ago, and you said somebody like an OG told you how you got to give people a chance to be introduced to the new you. And so like, and that's not quote unquote, but can you kind of break down what, you know what I mean? But you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you kind of break down what you meant, or even kind of repeat the quotes so people can understand it?
We'll have to go back and look at that.
No, yeah, I gotta pull it up. Matter of fact, let me read it right here.
I was gonna say, pull it up.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Look like it just went away.
Yeah, because we gotta have that.
Oh, dang, yeah, you gotta have it on. But it just went away. But yeah, pretty much you was kind of saying you gotta give people the opportunity to kind of be introduced to the new you. You know?
So it's like, and I remember that quote. I remember that exact one, but I don't remember it word for word.
Mm-hmm.
But how I wanted that to be taken is like you said. Let me see. I started getting in trouble early, like in the neighborhood and stuff when I was like 9. I'm talking about
you was a
little kid, like everybody running around, I'm fighting, I'm hanging out with my older cousins. You know, this when Forest Park was busy.
Yeah.
And we up there fighting every night, you know, in and out of Meyer Hall. And that's why I'm saying, which reverting back to the you change. We never seen this coming, bro. Like, it's like, you know, that's when I first started hearing this stuff, and it's, you know, from like, you know, elders and older people, they like, man, you ain't got no type of good life down the path for you. So it's like, all right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, in high school, getting in a lot of fights, you know, I went to Hoover, and then I got sent to Woodward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so then I
Hoover's
came out,
already.
and then I went to Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Which then when I was in Roosevelt, some of the people that I used to affiliate myself with when I was choosing a life that really wasn't for me, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like a product of my environment is what I felt
100%.
I needed to be. You know, somebody like, oh, I'm from the hood, so I got to be hood, I got to be street.
Yeah.
So I was at Roosevelt, then I didn't make the basketball team due to that, not due to my skills. And I swear, bro, it was like a movie. I never forget the hall monitor, JT, the principal, they are like Chris Long.
Shout out to JT
you
too,
know,
man.
Why ain't Chris Long on the team?
Yeah.
Like, we've been knowing him for a while. We know he got game. Like, since 8th grade, we know he was supposed to be one of them, but I got in trouble. I chose the streets over the reality
100%.
because I thought that was what the reality was. So the type of person I was then, and in my life, you know, to be honest, I was playing what you could call playing the streets until I was like 21 because I didn't have nothing to stop me from getting it. Like, oh, if I go to prison, I don't got no kids out here. Or if I go do this, you know what I'm saying, I don't have no repercussions besides my family, my mom and them, and I'm grown now.
Yeah.
So then I had my son in 2021. No. I had my son in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, around like, I want to say about 2019, I said, man, you know, it's time to do something different.
Yeah.
Then like I said, I got into barber college. I was in the middle of barber college, and then I kind of fell back while I was in the middle of barber college. Like, you know, finding myself just partying, hanging out with the same dudes. Like, yeah, man, I'm Kris the barber. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? And then what where my judgment was clouded was I'm the hood's barber. You know what I'm saying? The hood gonna take me where I need to go. But it's like, bro, you're not realizing that that's not an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So then that's when, like now, we start to read, and I really got to getting into growth and development. And I started to look at certain people, and I listened to a lot of Eric Thomas. And I'm like, man, this is motivation. And then I just got to understanding that, you know, the knowledge is power thing.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started dipping into the growth and development. And not on no gang culture, but on some real, like, bro, life is about elevating and not levitating.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm in barber college, but when I graduate barber college, this is when the real test begins, and I'm not only gonna be mingling with
the same type of people
from the hood. And if I want to expand my horizons, I'm gonna have to mingle with everybody. 100%. So that's when I decided to try to figure out certain stuff with myself that I would call flaws.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's now time to recreate those, right? So then I recreate them. But now, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, NBA stuff happened on Facebook, and you'll get in a debate about it. And because of my past, everybody like, damn, Kris don't like to do nothing but argue. You know, Kris a hothead. Kris do this, Kris do that. But here today in 2022, it's like, boy, I don't. If somebody punched me in the face today, I might not even hit them back because, you know, they not understanding the repercussions. Or if somebody say something to me, you know what I'm saying, ill will. You know, back in the day, man, let's fight then, let's do something. But it's like, you know, it's the reality now. The reality of stuff is I'm a new person. I'm not the same person that I was. Yeah. And so what you know of me, if you ain't talked to me in the last year or so on a regular basis, you don't know me no more. You don't know me anymore. Facts. I'm a new, totally different guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, on a basketball court, I might revert back to that same guy. I might talk, I might argue, I might be loud. But when you see me in the shop, unless we having a shop argument amongst each other about, you know, little small stuff, I'm not doing a lot of arguing. I don't want a lot of confrontation because you never know who's interviewing you. That's facts. When you around. So you always want to... Somebody's always watching. Always. And so it's like, not only is somebody always interviewing you, but I know that's not me anymore. 100%. And in my life, the way that I live my life now is I know when to bend, and when it's time to break, it got to be worth something. It can't be worth no clout as we use it, or no social status. It can't be worth because he made me mad and I feel like he belittled me. It's like, man, if it's not interfering with certain stuff, it's so much stuff that we could accomplish if we just sat back and thought a common sense process and not thought, oh, I got to do this because I'm this, or I got to do this because I'm black. It's like, no, I changed my ways because it's the logical thing to do. I changed my ways because I want to be able to mingle with my family 100%. And the CEOs of businesses. I want to be able to mingle with lawyers and doctors. I want to be able to mingle with your neighborhood drug dealer, and I want to be able to mingle with Bill Gates. You know, 100%. Stuff like that. A lot of people aren't willing to do that type of stuff. So that's where I take that, you know, everybody that think they knew me before, or you know, think they knew me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even people that I grew up with, I hung out with in everyday life that are used to the regular habits that you do. So in everybody's life, it come a point in time when they're like, man, I'm gonna switch this. Yes. And that's like, you know, a situation that I'm in my life every day now, you know what I'm saying, is that, you know, I got a friend that I hung out with for 15, 20 years every day. And the thing about it is, what I understand, but I feel like nobody else has understood yet, is that we're on two different paths. We're two different people. We still got love. We're still brothers. But when it comes to elevating, you know, everybody, it's different levels to what people are trying to do. And not saying that my level is higher than your level or your level is higher than mine, but you know, you may want to mingle with this type of people, and I want to mingle with this type of people, but it's gonna get us the same result. 100%. And that's what everybody don't understand. Because they're gonna think, oh, he's fronting, or he's faking, or he's acting different. The thing is too, I feel like it's important, is like, people gotta understand is, in order to elevate, you gotta separate sometimes, and that's a prime example of that, you know. And I really believe that. And so, like, bro, I got some more questions I got for you, but we about to take a quick little break and go into this ad real quick. What's good, y'all? It's Mikal Settle with Blaise Training Never Settle. Now listen, I want you to stay tuned for this new ebook we got coming out. It's gonna be fire.
great efficient workouts, whether it's the home workouts or the gym workouts. So stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of the show. Peace. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed that great ad and y'all tap into what we got going on. And so, bro, another thing I want to kind of touch on too is like your motivation. You know what I'm saying? Because you can really see it. Like every time you speak, you can tell. Like even today, I could just tell you was like, yeah, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. Like I can feel the hunger. Mm-hmm. So like my first part of the question is, what's your main motivation? You know what I'm saying? But when did you and then my second part of the question is, when did you realize you had that fire and you was like, this is the time where it's like, and I feel like once you realize you got that fire, you kind of realize like, okay, I'm gonna be great. And so it's kind of a two-part question, but what the first part is, what is your main motivation?
My main motivation is just doing something I love, I guess you could say. Like this is something I got a true passion for.
Yeah.
And you know, giving people true authentic haircuts before the enhancements. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's my thing, because the shop I grew up in was no enhancements. Yeah. And you know, our cuts was crispy every time we came out of there.
Facts, yeah.
You know, shouts out to Imperial Cuts.
That's what I was gonna say, Imperial Cuts, yeah.
That's just what it is. You know, that's the roots. That's where I began my career at. And that's really what put the fire in me though, coming out of school. It's like, hold on, I used to sweep the shop, now I'm working in the shop.
Now you're working in the shop,
and they all used to, you know, like Sam's my uncle, Duke's my cousin, you know, the rest of them all might as well be my uncles too. Trey Snaps, you know, Slim, Roselle, Benzo, Rich Nice, and they all used to crack jokes like, boy, you went to working for us to with us. Like, this is crazy. But I kind of knew it was my calling, so that's kind of my motivation every day. Yeah. It's just like, hey, you doing what you love. It don't seem like I'm working. It seems like I'm just chilling. You know, keeping the relationships going. Then I'm meeting a lot of people, and I'm networking. I'm doing a lot of stuff. Even people that aren't barbers, people with their own businesses, other businesses that I thought that never would be obtainable for me to reach in to with these people. And so it's like, dang, hold on, it's crazy. Barbering taking me here. Oh, hold on, barbering taking me there. Like, and it's funny again, because back to touching on traveling, bro. I never traveled this much in my life until I became a barber. I went on a plane one time before I became a barber. Since I've been a barber, I started barber college in 2018 and I graduated in 2020. So now it's 2022. So you could say I've been cutting hair for 5 years, 2 in school, 3 out of school. Now, I done touched the plane within the 2-3 years I've been out of school almost 10 times. That's crazy. And that's not even a lot, because some of these guys in here travel once a month. But it's like, for me, in every city I done touched, I done met a barber. So somebody go to Atlanta. They say, hey man, do you know somebody in here? Hit my man T-Man up. Tell him Swervo sent you, Kris the barber. Yeah. They go to Vegas. Hit my man Willie Hustle up. Tell him Kris the barber sent you. Show him a picture of him. They gonna know. They go to Houston. Hit up Harold Cleveland. Tell him Kris the barber sent you. Yeah. Show him a picture of me. You know what I'm saying? They gonna know who you talking about. You go to Chicago.
That's love.
Go to Hair Rez Barbershop. Show him a picture. Tell him Kris the barber sent you. Hit up Barber Nas. Tell him Kris the barber from Universal Cuts down there with Landlord and Wang sent you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you know all of us in here. And so that's why it's like, this is where barbering's taking it, and I can send my people for them to be taken care of wherever. And I got brothers in other cities because of the trade that I chose. Yeah. And we treating each other like family, and we showing love. And, you know, it's just like, what this career is bringing to the table, and I ain't even been in 5 years. Yeah. Just imagine when I'm 30 years 15, down the road. 20. And then the way, like, we was talking about me getting it out of the mud and not having to go to none of these shows because I don't feel like that's going to increase or decrease my revenue. Yeah. Everybody already know me in Iowa, not 100%. Even off barbering, you know, sports, doing stupid stuff, now off barbering, which is a positive, like, I'm a positive man, you know, I'm not on that other stuff. Yeah. And now what's next is, okay, that's Kris the barber from Iowa. He put Iowa on the map. You know, he's the generation after Big Rob, after Wang, you know what I'm saying, after Coop, after Blue, after Day Day, you know what I'm saying, after Keon, who has had the longest barbershop in Des Moines as a native right here, right now. Because, you know, the other 2 barbershops that have been here longer than him, their owners aren't natives of Des Moines. They weren't born in Des Moines. They're not from Des Moines. So another piece of history. Keon Patton got the longest barbershop out of Des Moines natives. And then there's Imperial Cuts is next. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
That's crazy.
It's just so crazy, bro. Like, it's a lot of history running around here, so I gotta get that out. I feel like I gotta get the true, real facts out to the people.
Yeah.
Because right now we got saturated facts that ain't the truth.
100%.
So that's where my motivation come in at every morning.
Yeah.
Every night I wake up. I got a automatic, alarm clock wake me up at 6, and the first thing I'm doing is looking at barber videos or looking at my schedule and playing the haircuts out in my head. Like this morning, the first cut I had was this kid that I've been cutting for about a year, and today's his birthday, and his mom hit me up and he wanted a number 6 in his head. And I'm not the best. I don't claim to be best at designs or nothing like that. I get in where I fit in, but he wanted a number 6 in my head, and I woke up at 6:30 with no thoughts, like, damn, what I'm gonna do with this? But like you said, it's the drive in me, and it's like, hold on, man, you finna clean them up.
Yeah.
This how you gonna put the number 6 in there? And I went in, I put the number 6 in there, put some lines, some zigzags around it, and he loved it. Yeah. But my gears was grinding all morning.
100%.
And it's like, damn, I really love barbering, bro.
No,
like
for real.
This make me happy. Like, this what I want to do. Like, how you got some people that want to rap and they don't get their dream up. It's like, this my dream and now I'm living it, because I done already made it professionally, licensed, went to school. 2,160 hours. That's
like that. Yeah.
It takes longer to become a barber than to become a police officer. So it's like, man, I put my time in. It's my time now.
Facts.
My motivation gonna come from there at all times.
Yeah, 100%. And so when did you realize, like, I'm gonna be great? Because I feel like all those times you touching on, like, people saying you wasn't gonna do this, people saying you wasn't gonna be much in life, saying you're gonna end up here or there. And so I feel like there had to be something in the back of your mind, it's like, I'm gonna prove y'all wrong in a sense, or I know how great I can be. You know what I mean? And so was it like that for you, or when, and if it was, when did you kind of realize, like, you know what, I know I'm gonna be great?
It was more or less for me, like, always in my mind, people could say what they want to say about me, but only I know the true me.
Yeah.
And the 48 laws of power is always conceal your intentions.
Yeah.
I think that's like law number 3.
Yeah.
And that was my thing, is everybody might see you one way, and this is what people never think about, and it's just come from reading. But you might act one way, somebody might act one way around you, and the way that they acting around you is totally different than their actual ultimate goal.
Yeah, their intention, yeah.
And so, in my life, it kind of always been like that for me. That's why that's a law that really sticks in my head, because it's like this. In all my life, people been, running around and saying what they saying about me, but I know what the plan is at life. You know what I'm saying? I know what I got going on. I know what I'm doing, and I know the proper steps that I'm taking to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my path might not be the path that you laying out, but like for me, I had to go. I went to college, decided I ain't want to play basketball.
100%.
I worked at Firestone, a factory job that I could have retired at 50 and had, great retirement. But I knew that wasn't what was in me. Yeah. So I'm like, man. And when I quit Firestone, a lot of people gave me back lives like, boy, what is you doing? Yeah. You just quit Firestone? Like, yes, I just quit Firestone to go be a barber, because I know that this is something that I can succeed at. I know that I'm going to win doing this because of the passion that I got for it. And they say, what you mean by that? And I've been wanting to be a barber since the beginning of my life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it had to be a calling for me. Because like I said, my uncle didn't get his shop till I was 12. And he used to cut us in his crib before that. He had moved out of state and came back. But it's like, I was saying I wanted to be a barber before he even opened his first shop when I was a little kid.
Youngin'.
And that's why it's like if you ask my dad now, he'd be like, man, dude been talking about the same stuff his whole life. I'm telling you, everybody know my dad. He worked at 4 Mile, Fred. I tell him, man, look, what Kris been talking about his whole life? Basketball, barbering, and lifting weights. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, coming out of high school, I really wanted to go to barber college, but going to regular college and living on campus was like a norm. Oh, this is what we got to do. This is American life.
100%.
And it's like, man, if I would have went to barber college first and then went on campus, and then my life would have been dramatically different. Because that's a lapse where people need haircuts at is on the campus, and there's not a lot of barbers in these small towns. So that's when I'm like, on the real, like when I went to Iowa Central, that's when I knew I was gonna be great. Let's say that. You know why? Because one of the homies, shouts out Jonte, and I know you remember. Shouts out Jonte Williams.
Dog, for real.
He'll tell you, bro.
BGU.
He had a pair of Andis T outliners, and I had a pair of like Walmart clippers. I started running around campus telling everybody I was a barber. Boy, I couldn't cut a lick in here. I'm like, man, I got $5 lineups, or $5 cuts, $2 lineups. Some people coming, some people ain't. I'm talking about I couldn't even get nobody no points, no ice picks. People was letting me cut their hair, though.
Shit.
So I'm like, man.
You need it, though.
And then once I learned how to fade, and see, that's the thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Once you learn the concepts of barbering, everybody see barbering like, oh, I could cut hair. But then to an average person, that haircut will look good. But to the barber,
they know.
When other barbers see people like from the crib who ain't honed in their craft, and we like, okay, this where he could have got better, this and that. And we don't always say it or comment on nobody's pick because everybody can't take constructive criticism. But for me, that's why it's always so great, because it's like, hold on, they was letting you cut their hair. I'll never forget one of the homies' line. He used to get it even, and he used to get his sideburns boxed. I used to think because it was the easiest cut, the one I could do the best, I used to just clean them up every time. So I'm thinking I'm doing something the whole time. I ain't doing nothing, you know? So it's like, damn, they let me cut their hair on this campus, and I'm not even that good yet. And it was somebody on campus that was cutting way better than me. He was the actual barber, but he had came back and tried to play football. Oh, yeah. So it's like, he now owns a barbershop in Iowa City.
That's crazy,
so
man.
it's like, damn, y'all letting me cut y'all hair, and he up here, like, his chair should be full. Ain't no way, like.
Yeah, so
it's like.
No, that's crazy.
From that point on, literally, like, that was probably about, like, 2013. I'm like, you might really could do something with this barbering if you actually learn and you get under somebody's wing. Yeah. And so what I did was, again, with the pride on the sleeve, I didn't really get under nobody's wing, but I just started watching and learning, watching a lot of videos, and then I'm like, okay, it's clicking. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to Firestone. I'm working at Firestone, but I'm still cutting a couple of the homies' hair. And I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Oops, I messed them up this time because I ain't consistent, but last time I had them clean. What did I do last time to keep them like that? Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm getting on a consistent level. Now I'm like, man, forget it. I'm going all in. I'm putting my all into it. I know this is what's for me. Ain't nothing else gonna work. You know, I got these flaws, this and that. This is what I need to work on. And when I get in this game, I know it's always gonna be a game of growth. So that's why from then to now, I always been feeling like I'm getting, you know what I'm saying, greater later. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's like, even when I was in school, once I got to graduating, like, I kid you not, bro, like, and I done converted my Facebook over, part of that, you know, giving people a chance to understand the new me. Yeah. I translated my Facebook over because my old one had a lot of bad stuff on there, but so many shop owners was in my inbox because, and this ain't bragging, this ain't being funny, but because they seen the drive and the love and the passion that I have for this. So that's another thing that made me like, hold on, okay. If all these other guys is seeing stuff in you and they see the drive,
there's something there, bro.
It's something that you got to really give a true shot to. And like, to be honest, like, bro, I ain't never gave, besides basketball and lifting weights, like I said, other hobbies, this what I done gave my life to, bro. Like, I done been barbering, like I said, for about 3 years straight, bro. And I ain't even, any other job I would have got tired of, I would have wanted to quit, not come, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, this, I'd be ready to keep coming to. And it's like,
learning something different, just moving forward.
Bro, just like I said, 2013 Iowa Central, that's when I knew. Barbering is what's going to take you to where you want to be in life. Yeah. Not take me better than nobody else, take me to where I want to be.
Yeah, you know 100%. 100%. And so, like, before I kind of dive into like my last question for you is, I'm gonna do two things. First thing is I'm gonna kind of take it back to when I was a young and growing up on the west side, you know, going to the Y, and there's 2 or 3 main people I always remember seeing there. It was Deshaun, you know, heavy set.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Had the meanest handles.
Deshaun Robinson.
Bro.
Ain't no street ball player better than him out here.
Illest handles, I swear to God. Illest handles. I used to watch him every day, eat people up all the time. Drake players used to come in there. He was even young, eating college players up. You know, I used to watch you be in there all the time, and then I used to see Jonte in there all the time, and to see how hard y'all used to work, and that was like my first time being introduced to like seeing y'all like in the Y and stuff like that, you know, and so like. And then Jonte, I seen him before, but just to see y'all passion and everything like that, it made me look up to you like, damn. Like I was like, you know what? I need to take football serious like them, like to see y'all in the gym. So I want to thank you for that too, you know, because I was young though when, you know what I'm saying? I'm 3 years younger than you, but I was still a youngin' watching y'all in there all the time because the grub was cracking for real.
Oh yeah, it definitely was
popping. So
that's some of the roots, man. Sad to see it go.
100%. And so I want to thank you for that. And then also say congratulations on just seeing where you've been taking this. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people in your position would have gave up, and a lot of people in your position has gave up. You know, whether it's from the shit you had to deal with in the streets and childhood shit, or just like the overall aspect of dealing with the sports disappointment and stuff like that. Right. You know, so to see you take it here is truly remarkable, you know, and commendable, you know. And so great job, for real, bro, for real. And so then the next thing too is each guest, I'm gonna give them a shirt, you know. And so this is the Mike Motivation Monday shirt I'm gonna give you. Hold on, hopefully you like it. And then too, I got you an XL just in case I don't want it to shrink.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
got them this, y'all. Motivation Monday shirt. And so then each guest, I'm gonna give them a book. And so this book, to me, I feel like it's a small book, you know, but this book's powerful, you know what I'm saying? It talks about the mindset, and a lot of the things you talked about, you're gonna resonate with this book you're gonna resonate with this book. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And this is a life changer for me. I feel like this book, and so make sure y'all check this out. It's called As a Man Thinketh. And then they have As a Woman Thinketh too, for all the women listeners too. It's by James Allen. So yeah, bro, wanted to give you this. I'll probably put this in there and everything.
Good. Thank you for that too, man. Thank you. Gratitude.
Yep. And so my last question for you, bro, is what does when you hear never settle, what does that kind of mean to you?
To me, that means never give up, never settle for less. It's kind of in other words of what I said. Yeah. Elevate, not levitate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that, again, like we've been talking about this whole series, it come from within. Yeah. You only know. Like for me, a lot of people, like I say, man, you doing great, man. Keep it up. But I think it's more I can always do. Every day I think about it. Because, you know, the example that I want to set, like you said, didn't even know we was setting that example for you. But that's the example I want to set and give back to the younger kids of this generation too. Yeah. Like dang, Kris riding around in that and living like that, and he ain't have to sell no drugs. Like, no, young brother, this is what you gotta do. This what it is. Like, dang, Kris just broke us down. He ain't say no cuss words. Yeah. Like, yes, young brother, I ain't say no cuss words. But this is why I ain't say no cuss words. Yeah. Or dang, man, he just broke this down to us and got us thinking way different and showed us why life is bigger. Like, yes, and this what you can get out of life. You know, the objective of life is to never forget where you came from. But everybody want to make it out. They ain't come from somewhere that they think is good. I mean, we call it the west side of Des Moines, Iowa, but it's the northwest side. Yeah, the most crime happens on that side of town. Exactly. Whether it be murder, whether it be robbery, whether it be, you know, assault, it don't matter. The most crime happens over there. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? It's the has the least amount of money out of all neighborhoods over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you want to make it out of that, or you want to stay there? Yeah. You catching all these felonies, you burning your credit up, you ain't building no credit, you ain't gonna get up out of there. You breaking every time somebody say something to you, you want to put your hands on, you know, just the simple-minded stuff. Yeah. You know, but if we here and we teaching that, man, I ain't really struggled growing up, you know what I'm saying, once I got older, but, you know, as a young kid, you know, my mom had me young.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. So the stuff I went through, you know, it's stuff I never want to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, I can't settle for this. I ain't never supposed to settle for this.
No,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
facts,
So it's like, or it's like, you know, you out here and you getting in trouble and you like, dang, this what I'm settling for? I'm settling to throw rocks at the penitentiary and then get caught and go sit in the penitentiary?
Yeah.
This what I'm settling for? Like, no, I ain't never settling for that.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what that means to me is life. Hey,
Yeah.
You get up, grind, keep it going, man. Like, every time, like, I love that that's what you use as your working out, because you know, it could be used in many different aspects.
Different
you know,
ways,
I'm lifting this weight and I want to get 10 reps, but I'm only at 8.
Yeah.
I can push 2 more out. Just never settle.
Never
Look,
settle, yeah.
Get your 10. You know, I got this coming up, this meeting. I want to be prepared. I know I ain't prepared right now, and I got 3 days. I'm not finna settle for going home and watching YouTube when I'm supposed to be writing up these notes. But that, you gotta hold yourself accountable to never settle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
it comes from within, like you said, bro. It comes from within. And so like, and to end off each episode, I'm gonna tell like a short story that kind of like resonates to what we're kind of talking about through this episode. And I had a different story planned, but then you just made me think of something, so I feel like I should just say it.
You might as well just tell them both.
Yeah, just tell them both.
Yeah, you might as well.
Okay,
that'd
yeah.
be some good content.
So the first story is kind of like a little bit about when I first went to college, you know, and I kind of had my story kind of resonates with yours in the sense of like, I thought I was going to the NFL, nothing more, nothing less, you know what I'm saying? And so like, one of the things I had to do though when I did go to UNI is I had to walk on to the football team. But in order for me to even get a chance to get on the team, I had to go up to the dude coaching's office like 30 times, bro. I used to go up there every other day, go up there, talk to him. Hey, did you figure this out? Just go up there. And then finally, bro, fam just let me on the team. It's like, you know what? I'm tired of seeing your face. I'm gonna let you on the team. You know, and that kind of resembles like in the sense of never settle. You know what I'm saying? Never settle for what people may think, or you got to make people say yes sometimes, and the no is only the beginning to, you know, the final yes.
Yeah.
But then the next story is kind of like, it resonates with yours too, and I know you probably got a whole bunch of stories that's similar to this though. Is one of my cousins, and you know, we pretty much like brothers still to this day, but like we was with each other every day. You know what I'm saying? Like food, sports, just going out, anything you can kind of think of, we did. We just hung out every day. But like there's a crossroad though, and it was like I had to come to terms with kind of like what you said is it was either I had to turn left or right in the sense of like, do I go down this path to hanging out with all these people that are in our neighborhood on the northwest side, like you said? Do I go hang out with the same people as him? Do I go to do these certain things? Do I go be involved in certain stuff? And so it was about my 8th grade year where I really had that switch. It was like, you know, I'm going to truly just focus on trying to be successful.
So a little earlier than a lot of other people too.
It was a lot earlier. I thought of that stuff real young, but I was in like 8th grade, bro. Like,
and luckily your switch never switched back off, because mine like came on early. Like when I came home from Woodward, so I was probably about 15, 16.
Yeah.
And then it switched back off. Boom.
Yeah.
Then it turned back on.
It's so easy too though, especially for how we grow up with. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know is like, especially because of the perception of like kind of like what you're saying, people have a perception of who I am, but they really don't know that they fucking probably guess I grew up on West Des Moines or something. Right, yeah. But not knowing is I live on the west side.
Grew up, born and raised.
I grew up on the west side. I was born in Texas, but I moved here when I was like 2 though. Yeah. But like pretty much born here, you know, so it's like I'm from the west side, just you know, so like
I'm born and raised, right? Yeah. Mercy Hospital, 60 University, you already know.
Right there. So it's like I had that crossroad. And so I say all that to say is the same person that I grew up with and was on his side with, like we bros back to back, same person that's serving 25 to 30 years right now.
And that's crazy because like for you, my first ever best friend, you know, Free Clifford Jackson, you know what I'm saying, Free Savage. that was my first friend. I met him when I was about like 3. We grew up our entire life, and he in the same predicament right now. You know, he doing some time. You know what I'm saying? He been doing time probably going on about 10 years now. You know what I'm saying? And I think about him every day because like you said, we was hanging out when we was kids. Like before we was in elementary, then we went to elementary together. We went to middle school together. We went to high school. Then right after high school, because I wanted to hoop and I ventured off, I went to prep school. Then I see on the news like, dang, the homie. That's the homie.
But think about him since. But then the thing I don't think people understand though is like, okay, they see where you're at now, right? It's easy for people to see where you're at, but only we know how easily we could have been right next to him. You know what I'm saying?
The thoughts that we got about that every day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, and that plays well. I don't know if you feel that sometimes, but it kind of gets me like, damn, like almost like a survival's guilt. Like, damn, like, bro, I could easily be with bro, like. And then I feel bad for him too because he's there, but it's like I could easily be right next to him when I get those collect calls, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that shit always gets me, bro, for real. And so, yeah, man, I appreciate you again, man, for real.
Always,
doing
bro.
this.
You know, bro.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Have to come back on and give some more knowledge.
No, for sure. And we gonna have to team up and do some stuff for sure.
For real. Something coming soon.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, so make sure y'all never settle. Like and subscribe and tune in for next week, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.